Hey everybody, 217 Bassin here. Today I'm going to talk about 4 setups that I'm going to take with me this weekend to fish Jim Edgar State Park. So the first setup is a shaky head. I got a 10-inch black worm with blue fleck on the shaky head. So when you throw this, the shaky head's going to sit flat, and this worm's going to float up and dangle. It'll sit flat on the bottom. This worm will float up and move with the water and attract bass that way. I have this set up with fluorocarbon line. Cigar Red Label is what I like. It's cheap. It's good stuff. It's strong. The rod I'm going to use is caching. I'm going to talk a little bit about caching rods. I love caching rods. I have 3 of them. I went to a fishing show in Collinsville, Illinois. Let's Go Fishing Show. And a guy had this rod. Instantly sold me on the sensitivity of the rod. I've used it. I had it for 1 year. I went back the next year to the same show, bought 2 more. So now I have 3 caching rods. And I pair those caching rods, all 3 of them, with a Quantum Smoke reel. Next setup, I just started throwing this. It's a wacky rig. The reason I like the wacky rig is it's a slow falling bait. Okay, you throw it out there, this thing flutters, it goes real slow, falls down, throw it out. Falls down real slow. I got the pink on there. I never thought I'd be throwing a pink worm, but I've had success recently out at the park with it, and I like it. Okay, pink Senko, you throw it, it flutters down, and then you just kind of give your line a pop, and it'll come back up and flutter back down slow. It stays in the strike zone a long time, which is what I like. Okay, this wacky rig is on a Berkeley Lightning rod, and it's paired with a Cardinal spinning reel. So I like, when I'm throwing a wacky rig, it's super light. I like to use a spinning reel for that instead of a bait caster. The one thing that I really like about the wacky rig setup is, if you look closely, I don't know if you can see that, at this hook, it's got a wire on it right there. The wire is weedless. You can throw this in around cover and not get hung up. My third go-to, I just did some fishing this week with my buddy Rick, who runs Fishing's Not a Crime YouTube channel. Check him out. He's got some really good stuff. He throws primarily frogs. I went with him. I messaged him and asked him, give me some tips for throwing a frog. We went to high school together. He's from up north, and he said, let's just go fishing. So he came down by me. I took him to my local lake I like, Jim Edgar State Park, and I threw a frog. I watched him put it in the boat, and I finally put it down and started throwing my Texas rig, which is my bread and butter. I'll get to that next. But this is a Booyah Pad Crasher poppin' frog. I have it on a little bit cheaper setup, but I learned how to fish on the Abu Garcia Silver Max with a bait caster. Love this setup. It's one of my originals, and it's paired with a St. Croix rod. It's 6'9", which is a little short for me, especially with the frog, but it works just fine. And I have braided line on that. I like to throw braided line when I'm throwing a frog, just because of you're trying to pull it out of the weeds. So you need something that is going to hold up and give you some pull when the fish grabs that frog and dives deep into those weeds. The braid will help you horse it out. My last setup is kind of my go-to here. I fish Texas rig plastics. I'm a finesse fisherman. I fish Texas rig probably 90% of my time. So this is my Texas rig setup. I currently have, as you can see, kind of my, I'd say go-to. My setup that I've had success lately with has been dark worms. So this is a Berkeley power bait, 7-inch power worm, and it's paired on a 1/16 ounce lead weight with a 4/0 hook. The 1/16 ounce is light, but what I like about that is it allows it to go slow. So it'll fall at a slower rate, and I'll move up to about a 1/4 ounce weight sometimes. I want to switch to tungsten, so I'm going to buy some tungsten. Maybe look for a video with that coming up. I'm going to make the switch to tungsten and test it out. I wanted to try it, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to make that switch, I think. More sensitivity will allow me to feel the bite a little bit better. So, and then this is the same thing. Cashian rod, Quantum Smoke Reel. Cashian rod, 6'9", fast, medium, heavy. Gives you some backbone to be able to pull the fish out, but gives you a tip that gives you sensitivity to feel that bite. So going out this weekend, wishing you guys nothing but tight lines. If you guys like what you see, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, and hit that like button. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Tight lines.